I see this comment so much. What went wrong with the Borderlands community? It used to be so united. Why are we having this drama? And the question I want to add to this is, why is the game dying? And the thing is, I want to talk to every content creator watching this right now, especially to those content creators that do not like me. Because as content creators, we should be having fun playing video games. And I think everyone agrees with that. And that means we should also be looking out for and having fun with our communities. Now, for me personally, when Borderlands 3 came out, I pre-ordered it. And the second the game came out, I stayed up for over 24 hours playing the main story. My goal was to complete it so I could get to the end game and start making builds. But I fell asleep and finished it the next day. Now, regardless of that, over the next month, I spent all my video game time in Borderlands trading discords, trying to get the perfect gear for the perfect build. Since I'm a Zane main, and Zane was considered bad when the game came out, I wanted to make the most OP Zane build ever. And guess what? I found it. It was an infinite grenade Zane build using only one action skill and spamming recurring hex grenades. No one in the community was doing this, and this was my first build ever that launched my YouTube career. And since then, I posted wacky builds that were sometimes really strong and broken, and a lot of the time, wacky builds that were just for fun. And I interacted with my community, and I've made videos about stuff I thought that they were interested in. And this is what content creation is supposed to be about. But as you get more and more followers and more opportunities and more money is to be made, things get a bit muddied, especially when the exact game you love is the one that's offering the sponsorship. This creates a conflict of interest because you now have an interest in helping the company rather than your community. We all need to get back to our roots and remember why we started making our YouTube channels. It was to do what we love and also stand for the community love. Now, the problem for the community is that 90% of content creators left for Borderlands 3 are sponsored by the company, and they feel the need to police the community and also, in their own words, sugarcoat their criticism so that the devs at Gearbox might be more likely to listen. We got to sugarcoat it, right, guys? Basically, in layman's terms, what this means is since they are now friends with the company and employees, they want to quiet down negativity. But my friends, negative media is the only thing that gets companies and people to change. I'm talking about all around. This isn't even just Borderlands anymore. Any company ever only changes when the consumer tells them to. My friends, Gearbox is a multi-million-dollar company, probably $1 billion company because, you know, what I'm going to say next. And they are making most of this money from us, the consumer, and also getting paid by companies like the Embracer Group. Remember, Randy acquisitioned Gearbox into the Embracer Group for a deal estimated to be worth $1.3 billion by leveraging this community, us, by leveraging us. The Embracer Group would not be interested in Gearbox or Borderlands unless we were, which once again means we are the ones who need to hold this company to a higher standard and tell them what we want. The problem is when content creators stop realizing this and selling out for way cheaper than what they should be. Now, on top of this, these corporate creators have also bullied small content creators out of the community due to them being a part of Next Makers. They want to simp for their, for Next Makers. They want to earn brownie points within the group. I'm not even saying 2K is having them do this. I'm saying they want to straight up earn brownie points. They think they're security guards for the community, trying to tell us how to play the game and trying to gatekeep for their own benefit. Because not only do they want to earn brownie points, but they want smaller creators to have less views on Twitch so that they can be getting the views. And they only want to share it with their in-group. And on top of that, this is another way to quell negativity, because if you're not being bought by the company, now the creators who aren't bought are getting pushed out of the community. Now, remember how I said negativity is the only way Gearbox will not sell us subpar content. Gearbox wants to quiet the negativity. Now, what we're going to be talking about is how smaller creators have been bullied and blacklisted. I've made multiple tweets and multiple posts in my community posts even. I'll screenshot some of them here. but I've never actually made a video talking about this and showing what happened over the years. Now, the reason for this video is because multiple small content creators have been labeled as black sheep, and almost all of them stopped making content for Borderlands for the most part, or they were heavily suppressed and felt really upset about the whole situation. Or they're labeled as black sheep and they never make it into Next Makers, for example. Now, this list includes B Flattened, Hacks, Termex, Hellfire, Siege OC. There's more to this, but I would say the biggest black sheep in the community that this has happened to is Mornin Afterkill, and I've already covered that in my last video. What I'm going to be covering in this video is I went ahead and interviewed Hacks and B-Flat specifically. I mean, we could get testimonies from the others, but from their answers, I think this is more than enough, and let's hop straight into that. Quag started DMing people after a Wondercast stream, and he said, B-Flatten, It's Termex, Siege OC, and Hacks, which your name got mentioned in this. We're all in the chat today hurling insults and attacking the devs, the hosts, other creators, people expressing anything remotely positive, and used you and Moxie's analysis videos as justifications for their actions. Siege's response to a person telling me to kill myself was cute. Been spending my afternoon coordinating. I'm done with toxic people representing the lands community to the world as a whole. And K6 tweeted, we need to cut the cancer out of this community. Now, I'm not even going to ask you to defend yourself because Term has posted, 2 videos about this now? So, to be honest, you guys didn't do anything wrong. We don't have to go over that. I want to know how seeing this and hearing about this made you feel as a streamer for Borderlands.
I mean, it's kind of hard to really go back into that. But, the fact that I had to go in front of my community and try to justify myself as a human being after having been accused of something I didn't do. And just the thought that there were people out there that legitimately believed that I was trying to spread toxicity. I mean, it goes against every single thing that the channel that I created stood for. Because the channel that I created stood for sticking up for creators. It stood for bringing everybody the best quality content possible and including everybody in that content so we all had fun. And then all of a sudden, you've got somebody who's slightly bigger than you and has more influence than you saying something that just completely changes your whole perspective on the game, your whole perspective on the community. Because, and I love my community. Every last person that's ever been a part of my channel, I have nothing but love for. I'm a dorky autistic kid who has a love of Borderlands that wants to make builds, help people, and, just have fun with it. And the fact that that was taken away from me, not because of something I did, but because of a falsified allegation from someone else. And, the hard part is how do you prove it? I mean, you can sit there and say, go look at the VOD, go read the chat. What he's saying did not happen. And the evidence is out there. But the problem with, the modern era and YouTube is once somebody with a big enough following and a big enough clout says something, it doesn't matter if you have the evidence to prove yourself innocent. It doesn't matter. Because that person has more clout than you. And their say means more than what you say. So the evidence be damned. What was done was done. The people that were going to believe it and buy into it bought in and believed it. And that's why Termex and Siege and I and B-Flat, the damage was done. What could we really do? That's an honest question. What could we do there?
That's the shit I think people are trying to hear, man. Honestly.
I mean, that's what I want people to hear is the honest answer. Look, you want to know why the community is dying. You want to know why things are happening. Look, I stream Borderlands day in and day out. I knew I was blacklisted. It got leaked to me before that Gearbox wasn't super heavy on me, say file milking and giving everybody's builds away. But at the end of the day, I didn't really think much of it because 90% of the builds I was giving away came from people on the stream team who were openly posting them on their Discord. So I'm like, what's the issue here? Yeah. And, that was my understanding of Borderlands was we're all here to help each other. The community is about helping. So if I can take this from this person and give it to another person. My honest opinion, what is the difference between a person who knows Discord and knows computers going into a content creator's Discord, downloading the save file, uploading that save file, and putting it on their PC? What's the difference between that creator being able to give their build away and me taking that build with that creator's permission? I always ask permission. What's the difference with me taking that build, putting it on the console, and giving it away to a player on a console who can't get it on the PC? Yeah. I really don't see the difference. Trouble there.
There is no difference. And then I suppose the final thing is, would you mind if I share this DM between you and Quag that you sent me? Where Quag literally was like calling you a good guy, and I hope you know a lot of people appreciate what you do.
As long as it's framed in the fact that I did not start this fire, that the only reason I want this DM to be visible is because it directly goes against the allegations he falsely made about me.
Yeah. All right, so basically there was a glitch in Arms Race where you could spawn the car into the Arms Race map, get all the loot extra quick, and then extract it to viewers. So basically you were abusing the EchoCast for viewers, right?
Essentially, yes.
All right, so during that stream, Epic NG messaged you, and he said, dude, don't stream those Arms Race glitches. All right, so basically Epic is saying, don't stream this glitch. He's not really giving you a reason why. He just says stuff like, just trust me, dude. It's not worth it, dude. And he's just saying kind of cryptic sort of warnings, right?
That's the first thing that came to my mind. It was just
messages. It's just cryptic messages, cryptic warnings, and you're even asking, is Gearbox watching? Just know that they watch everyone. You're the only one doing it. Bird made a big thing about it. So he's talking within the Next Makers program, obviously, and basically warning you, I wouldn't do it if I were you. He says, I don't want to see you fucking your chances up. And in my opinion, he's talking about with the Next Makers program, right? I mean, what else could that mean?
Yeah, it could be Next Makers. It could have been, something involving the Border Cast at the time.
So next time you guys talk, you just say, what's up? And he sends you a question mark and you say, it's been a while. How are you? And he says, good. And he says, I ignored you when you stopped by and for good reason. I have never once come across someone in this community as two-faced, fake, and just downright disrespectful than you. You knew what you were doing back with the Lilith's Chest exploits and didn't give a fuck about your friends or what they thought about your antics. I tried to stay silent on the whole Arms Race thing, but thought, why not help my friend and let him know what he's been doing is a bad idea and may have some bad repercussions. But you did it anyway, B, because you knew it would pull views in order to help you push for partner. You directly abused the Twitch directory, and all because you want to advance your career. Then the following night, I sat there along with many other Borderlands creators and watched as you mocked and spoke down to someone condemning your actions. It was disgusting. So I once again reached out to warn you that what you were doing was a bad idea. You continued to do it in the stream, to the disgust of many who won't come forward. And then how did you thank me for trying to help a friend out? By ignoring me for a straight week, only speaking to me when you felt the need to pop up in my chat for whatever reason. I have helped and helped and helped you so many fucking times, and you have stabbed me and many others in our backs. You have burned multiple bridges with the people you don't even know yet. Some of which we'll probably never know because of what you did. You are a leech, and I sincerely hope karma finds its way in due time. Please never associate yourself with me again. So I'm definitely going to ask you your thoughts. We don't even have to read your response because what Epic said is insane. So you're streaming an Arms Race glitch to get loot for your viewers to advance your career, which what's wrong with that? Who doesn't do stuff to get at the top of the Twitch directory? He does stuff to get at the top of the Twitch directory. And not only that, I'm going to put on the screen the video he posted teleporting the car into Arms Race. So he promoted the same exact glitch. And just the language he used, calling you a leech, saying you stabbed him in the back. And then the worst part is you burned bridges of people you don't even know. So to me, that's talking about the Next Makers group. You were never invited to that, and I've spoken on that. I just want to ask, don't even read your next message. I just want to ask B-Flat, how did this make you feel? Like, what was your reaction to some of the stuff I said? Were you thinking about the Next Makers group at all? Like, do you think you're blacklisted from that? And just give me your thoughts on all that.
That's a good question. I would say ultimately stressed because at the end of the day, people are still watching content, but obviously it's a lot less, and it's a split, it's a divide. But then you also kind of get the feeling that someone is just kind of breathing down your neck and watching in a malicious way, and that's even worse stress, especially when you get messages that say they always watch, and that kind of puts a lot of jitters in a way. It's a bad term to say, but it's kind of jittery too,
And
kind of feel like someone's always
many.
looking down.
He said you stabbed many others in their backs, and you've burned bridges with people you don't even know.
Yeah, I don't feel like there was a betrayal on my part. I just was having fun. I was trying to do something that others had an appeal for. There's still people, a smaller number now, but there's still people from 4 years ago that still watch because of the glitches that I did in the day. They've made a connection, and I think it comes down to something that I've said back then compared to now as well. I still have the same sentiment. Putting and doing something that draws people in is a hard thing to do. The hardest thing to do is getting someone to return after you've made that first impression. And I think it's on the creator to make that impression with their viewers in order to sort of make a bond. And it's something that is on the creator to end up doing that, and there's still bonds to this day from there. So I think I did my job as a creator to form those styles of relationships, and it's more challenging to do that when you get pushed down instead of uplifted, brought up. You don't have to like everybody's content or way of content, but actively suppressing is making that challenging for other people in the same community that you're in.
So those are highlights from 2 interviews I did, one with B Flat, one with Hacks. Now I edited those down heavily just for the length of this video. I ended up talking with Hacks for like 2 hours. I ended up talking with B Flat for 30 minutes, and both of them went into more detail on the extent of how they felt. But, I edited the parts out that I felt were good enough to kind of get that feeling across. Now, what I'm going to say on this is that this was clearly done, whether it's jealousy, whether it's gatekeeping within the Nextmakers community, whether it's because they don't want them getting views over them. But both creators in both instances essentially did what they accused the other of doing. Epic is trying to call out B Flat for doing a glitch on stream to get loot to his viewers to quote unquote abuse the Twitch directory. Is that for real? Because Epic, you posted the same exact glitch, the literal same exact glitch for a YouTube video to get yourself 30,000 views. And Quag telling people they're being toxic, he literally picked a group of people. He took it upon himself because a random person told him kill himself in a Twitch chat, literal a bot account. Termax has covered this and showed all the proof of this. And he decided to take it upon himself to be toxic towards 4 streamers that had negative opinions and aren't on the Nextmakers program. And, some people are going to say this is just for drama. However, I actually should have posted this video back when this is all happening. I am going to show a DM I sent to a 2K employee who happened to get me into the Nextmakers program in the first place. I'm going to blur their name because, I'm not sure how I feel about putting 2K employee names out there. But basically what I said to them was, hey, I'm not sure how much you guys value my feedback, given how much of an asshole I've been on YouTube, etc., to Gearbox and Borderlands as a game. But 2 big posts I made in the Nextmakers program talked directly about toxicity in the community towards glitching and exploiting, and toxicity towards B Flat indirectly. Those things definitely played a part in my action going forward from that point in leaving the stream teaming and being more critical. But really, it's not right, but that's what's been done to B Flat for members of the stream team. I know you and Gearbox have their own priorities, but addressing things like this from within will mold a better atmosphere. This isn't about making money or advertising/selling the game. This is about right and wrong. Basically, some dude named Siege, who you may have seen on Twitter, posted this video. I only want you to really pay attention to the first half because the second half is irrelevant. The first half shows how Epic NNG has treated B Flat and told him he has burned bridges with people he doesn't even know. For what? For exploiting the Lilith chest on BL3 launch? And then exploiting the modded arms race extraction events? I want to bring up the times when Gearbox ran the guaranteed EchoCast event, and I streamed it. And those were my highest viewer streams, getting me over 500 plus viewers per day, multiple days in a row. Those were some of my most enjoyable streams out of anything I've ever done because it was such a rush to have that many viewers, and the amount of gift subs I got on those days were insane. B Flattened is a 50 average viewer diehard Borderlands fan, and when he found the exploit and had hundreds of viewers for those couple of days, I'm sure he felt the same exact way I did when I streamed the actual event. This is not a bad person. This is a small diehard Borderlands creator who just wants to get ahead and push for partner on Twitch. I've made 2 posts in the Next Maker program on toxicity towards modding / exploiters and toxicity towards B Flatten, where me and Blurred Person had a bit of back and forth where he explicitly said B Flat was not blacklisted from the program. Now, I addressed this stuff when I was still in the group, but it came back up recently, and talking with B Flattened, he is under the assumption that he is blacklisted because of what members of the stream team have told him. This is harassment, and I told him that it's not true. And really, in this community post on my channel, I give my full thoughts on the situation. I'm only messaging you because you are a person who has a real say in the Next Makers program, not the creators who are harassing B Flattened. You can ignore this if you want, but just ask K6, Jolts, Moxie what they think of B Flattened. The guy is literally a stereotypical friendly Canadian, like I've said already. He's a small, diehard Borderlands content creator. There are smaller content creators in the Next Maker program with less passion right now. Obviously, things aren't perfect. The exact metrics of passion and views won't instantly get the right people in to the Next Makers program. But I believe there is muddied feedback from other people in the program who have kept him out, and it's not right. Also, he's not on quote-unquote my side or any of the bad eggs on Twitter who caused drama with Birdman and Epic a lot. He was literally caught in the middle of this years ago when the red chest exploits were happening, and I tried to say something about this on my time in the stream team. Now, the only reason I'm including this message is for this exact point right here, right now. I have seen some people say, negative criticism in public is not going to fix everything. However, for this situation exactly, unfortunately, I don't have screenshots from when I posted about this twice in the Next Makers Discord because I left. I left the stream team. I just happened to never take screenshots, and this is years later. Okay, I don't have those screenshots. But in the message to the 2K employee, you can see me referencing it. I personally talked about this within the program, and it just got left, after all this time. So my entire point is when you join a group that is for advertising the game that you happen to play on YouTube, the priorities just get twisted. It's a conflict of interest, and honestly, content creators who are in the Next Makers program are going to be biased. They're going to be leaving certain things out when it comes to the public and talking about it. This goes for their opinions on the game, and this definitely goes for creators that have been blacklisted and treated completely unfairly. So this is not just a drama video. This is actually something that really pissed me off at the time, and I actually personally regret and feel a little bit guilty that I didn't make this video earlier.